All right. After a recent viewing of the Glacial Gold Hunter trying to make a propane tank ball mill, I realized that my propane tank rock tumbler is indeed a ball mill. I just have to find some balls. Unfortunately, I don't have any balls. I don't even have a brother-in-law with balls, but I do have nuts. Lots and lots of lug nuts. And they're heavy. And yeah, they got a hole. They'll probably get full of ore or rocks. But for the sake of experimentation, this is what I've got. And I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna put some ore in. Now this is still, let's just call it a prototype. I've made it, I mean, I haven't even finished welding it. Look, there's just a tack weld, right? When I first ran it, only that pulley drove, and when it would get a lot of weight, the tumbler would stop tumbling. I added some rubber, and it helped a little bit, but so what I ended up doing was I used some bicycle sprockets and a bicycle chain to make the second shaft turn. And these guys, these are from an overhead garage door. So these are the actual bearings. If you go out into your garage, chances are pretty good you've got one that either looks like that or one that looks like that. They're absolutely cheap. These ones, I think these ones I had and these ones I bought on Amazon or vice versa. But they come with the bracket and the bearing, and they seem to last a while. The shaft, I mean, you go to any garage door place and they've got a pile of these out back in their scrap pile. Go to any scrap yard, you're going to find a garage door. Or, you know, you don't need a garage door at your house. Take it apart and make a ball mill. The rest of this, the motor and the pulleys, those are from they call them a squirrel cage fan, like what's in your furnace. Some of the newer furnaces are direct drive. What I mean by that is the motor goes directly on the fan. The older ones, the motor was external. The big pulley turned a shaft that had the fan on it. So basically all of this I harvested from my scrap pile. And then the 30-gallon, not 20, 30 pound, not 20 pound, 30 pound propane tank. And then what I did was a little different than what Lucas did. I cut that hole to match these plugs. And you get these are for pipes. You put this in a pipe and you tighten it down and it makes the pipe sealed up. And now I paid $10 for this one. And then the next store I went to for $6 had the same thing made out of metal, which I think that might be my downfall. The rocks haven't beat it up too bad, but I don't know how it's going to handle the nuts. I think this might fail, but if it does fail, I already know where to go to get the exact replacement in metal. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to pour this gallon bucket of ore that I recently allocated from the state of Montana. It's been through a jaw crusher, and if you were to pan out the dirt that's in here, you're absolutely going to find gold. But if you can crush this rock down and make more dirt out of the rock, you're going to find more gold. That's just how it works. I'm no scientist, but that's what the people tell me. So I'm hoping that my nuts are just as good as balls, and I can turn big rocks into little rocks. And I'm going to just set the camera down because I'm not going to try to pour that in one-handed. But you got to believe me, I'm going to just dump that into there, and I'm going to dump that into there, and then I'm going to put that lid in there, and then I'm going to put it on this frame and plug it in. And last I knew, it still worked absolutely fine. And we ran it for like 3 days last time. The reason we haven't been tumbling a lot of rocks in it, and this was a great idea until you realize how much the stuff costs that you have to put in with the rocks. And in an itty-bitty little rock tumbler setup, it's not a big deal. You spend $100 every couple of months. But it's hundreds of dollars in grit to fill this up with rocks and grit. And we just maybe this winter we'll get back into doing some of that. But summertime, I got way better things to spend $100 on. So without any further ado, I'm going to pause this video, load this all up. The next time you see it, it's going to be spinning to win. So be right back. And just for fun, I am also going to dump a handful of uncrushed ore in there, purely for scientific purposes. And all right, so I'm gonna put the lid on. We'll be right back. All right, so it's on there. The plug is in. Let's plug it in. Try to do this without electrifying myself. And 1, 2, 6, here we go. Ooh, it don't want to spin. It don't want to spin. There we go. Oh, and the chain came off. Huh. Okay, try again. Alright, so it took me a little bit. I have a problem with the master link in my chain. The master link is actually wider than the chain, and it was allowing the chain to track back and forth. And sometimes when it would come around, it would be in the wrong spot and it would just jump off. The other issue I'm having is that shaft should be flush. That shaft should be flush with that bearing, which is allowing, you can see the chains running off. So usually what I do is I put it where it's got to be, and then I put just a little bead of weld on there so it can't walk back again. And I haven't welded it up really well because I fully intend to put like a 40 series chain on there and eliminate all of this bicycle chain issues that I'm having. But there it is, running. You can kind of hear. And you see I got just a couple of rollers, so if the tank moves back and forth, it kicks it back over into the middle. And it runs fairly well. Now I'm going to leave this run as long as it'll possibly run without breaking, and see if I can make some powder. With any luck, we'll be doing a pan of gold out of that. Maybe in just a few hours. We'll check on it and see. I'm going to shut her down for now and let her buck. We'll see what happens after a while. I did stop it briefly, and I moved my rubber sleeves back where they're supposed to be, and I wrapped tape on the outside of the shaft so they can't work their way back out. Right dead center in the middle there is the weld where the two tanks are welded together, and that weld's got a lump in it where they started and stopped. It's, you know, about yay big, and every time that lump hits the bar, the tank would jump, which is probably better for what's inside of the tank, but the machine itself was hopping and jumping, and I decided to put the rubbers back where they're supposed to be. They're just thick enough to keep that weld off the shaft, and the whole thing runs smoother. And now you can really hear that aggregate. You can hear that rolling and tumbling in there. So we're gonna let her buck. Set it and forget it, like Ronco. So it's been running about 5 or 6 hours now. I notice I hear a more metallic sound inside. Like you can hear more of the nuts hitting the shell of the tank. So let's shut it down and see what we got going on. Maybe I got my powder. Alright, got it loosened up. Yeah. Put this back. There's a sweet spot for this guy to fit out. Right there. Oh wow. It's definitely got a lot of powder. Where'd all my buckets go? Okay, bucket time. Sure there's an easier way to do this. Of course, I only have one hand, and I have a phone in the other. So we'll go that route. Tap, tap on her. Oop. Stand up. Can't imagine it just emptied right out, but maybe. A lot of it came out. Alright, so the big rocks are still big. There's a lot more dust. For sure it's working in the right direction. I don't know how long I would leave it run, but it needs to run longer. Oh look, Amazon presents. So, yeah, I'm going to stop this video, tap it all out, maybe run it through a classifier and see how much of it actually did take care of. Pull that out, let this stuff run by itself. Be back in a little bit. Well, best I could do right now is an 1/8 inch classifier. So we'll dump all that into the 1/8 inch classifier and see how much is left. I'm going to do that off camera. So really, not too shabby for 4 or 5 hours or whatever it's been running. That bucket was full to the top in the beginning of the video. And I also have, there's a handful of these big rocks that I had thrown in. I mean, they're in there, see them all? So that wasn't included in that volume. There's a little bucket full of nuts. And then this, incredibly powdery. There is still some 1/8 inch or bigger chips, which I guess I could go get. I have a finer screen I could go get and screen them out to put them back in here, because I'm going to pan that right now and I'm going to run this again. But there's definitely some potential for it as being a functioning ball mill if, you know, you have hours and hours to make a gallon of material at a time, which, let's face it, I do. Okay, I'm going to put all that back in, get it running again. I'm going to pan that down. We'll see how we've doing so far. Alright, so the leftovers are running again. Let's take this over to the wheelbarrow. See what I got. Well, I got it panned down to there. And you can see for the most part, there isn't a whole lot of crunchies in there. It was definitely not a lot in that 1/8 inch category. But I'm going to dump this water out, put some clean water in so I can pan it back nice. There is no doubt at all that is some hard to pan material. Alright, it tells me to get up close. Focus, buddy, focus. Alright, well, what I did end up with is 2 pretty good sized pieces. But here's the thing. The really fine stuff looks golden color. Those big pieces appear to be silver. Which, you know, that's not the end of the world either. And then there's always the possibility of the palladium and the rhodium and all that, which I wouldn't have a clue how that looks or acts in pan. So, I think the next thing I'm going to do is take this in and throw it under the microscope to see if maybe we can tell the difference between gold and silver. I'm learning right along with you. But if anybody tells you that ore pans the same as creek dirt, they are lying to you. It is a totally different ball game. As you can see, this stuff just, everything in there moves the same. If you tap it up, it all goes up. If you wash it down, it all goes down. There is no And then I got the magnet out. Guess what? No magnetics in there. I only pulled a little small bit out. But everything you see in there sparkling is worth money. The black stuff, well, that's worth money too. Just not near as much and not what I'm trying to deal with. I do have a Flower Gold Wizard cleanup sluice, but I'm not going to get it out for that much material. Let's go see what the microscope says. Well, zoomed in, it looks like a bucket full of rocks with really big pieces of gold in it, don't it? We're gonna try to get over here to these two bigger chunks. We gotta be getting close. Oh, there's one. Oh wait, no, that is definitely the blue bowl. Oh, there it is, there it is. So what are we thinking? Gold or silver? It definitely has that golden look to it. And if that is gold, that is definitely a picker, because I've picked it up twice now. Let's go up. Get a little further away and then focus in back on it. And let's go really, really close. Focus in on it. I think that looks like gold to me. I think that looks like gold to me. Yeah. I'm sure I can barely move it. Oh, I'm hitting the microscope, so can't really move it too far. Just trying to walk it. That didn't happen either. But yeah. I definitely think I found some gold. There's another chunker. So I'm going to end this video off here. I don't see any reason for you guys to endure any more misery. Look at that little guy just hanging out all by himself. There's no doubt that the propane tank ball mill will work. I probably need some better balls. There's no doubt that my ore has gold in it. How about that? Alright guys, till the next time, thank you Glacial Gold Hunter. You made me re-look at something I already had and find a better way to use it. And there'll be many more times. See y'all later. Hi, it's me again. A little PS to the video. We took that bigger chunk out just to get a solo look at it, and it all by itself definitely looked a little weird in the microscope. So we went and got my rock crusher from the jewelry room. There it is. There's a piece. This is what I'm trying to work with right now. And we put that big piece on this plate, and we did this, and yeah, pyrite. It was fool's gold. No, it's not all fool's gold in there, but that big piece definitely was fool's gold. So, yeah, and that is the fun part of the learning curve. I knew it didn't quite have the luster of gold, but I thought maybe just because of the way it was beat up. But really close examination of just that, for sure, it was pyrite. So, they can't all be winners. Definitely was not my first picker. I'll keep trying though. I'll get one.